Do you like your nostalgia with a lot of teeth? What happens when you mix Luke Skywalker and the Wampa? An immortal skipping Yeti? Activision has bills to pay. Time to put ads everywhere? Marvel Studios offers a great deal on head. All this and more on Cutting Edge Hero Live. Welcome to Cutting Edge Hero! I am the Nerd King, Danny Stewart, your host for this and every episode of Cutting Edge Hero. Joined tonight by my two faithful co-hosts, the one, the only, the queen of nerddom herself. Jen, how you doing tonight?
Fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing well. And the cinnamon to my sugar, the milk to my coffee, the person who completes me, Landon Felter, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing as good as always, Danny.
All right. Any day with Landon is a good day. Also, over there on my right, the man in the chair himself, our technical director, Randy. Randy, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good. What do I bring to your life in terms of coffee ingredients?
The gum stuck to the sole of my shoe.
Oh God!
That's not a coffee ingredient, but I'll take it.
That weird mole my doctor needs to look at. The one, the only, Randy Tapley.
Just here to make sure you get checked.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for getting me. Thank you for checking me before we went live. I needed that.
Suspicious one.
Like a prostate check? Like, what are we checking here?
I'm the suspicious one. That's not a problem, but it doesn't hurt to know for sure.
No, I've learned to self-check my prostate. It's a whole thing. But anyway, our human relations specialist and fact checker extraordinaire Ben Stewart may be joining us in the comments tonight, and if not, he's a busy guy. It's okay. So we've got a little bit of a show tonight. We had some major technical difficulties leading up to the show. We were all set to go, and the computer crapped out on us. So we are going to keep this show tight, and we're only going to have a couple of segments tonight. So we will be doing the bullet points. And we will be doing the hit list. Tonight we're talking about the top 5 worlds we would like to get Isekai'd into. But before all of that, let's talk about the nerdiest thing you guys have done this week. Jen, what's the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
Oh my gosh, Danny. I woke up Saturday and I got a notification on my phone that No Gimmicks was going live. And I was like, oh, let me go hang out with my buddies in the chat. Lo and behold, our Nerd King is on there with our friends Frankie D and Black. So I watched that, and then immediately my husband starts his podcast with Eat the Cake Anime, and yeah, I basically was on DFP and stuff all day Saturday.
Yeah, that's pretty nerdy. I was in the chat for Eat the Cake after I got off of No Gimmicks. That they broke down the Crunchyroll Anime Awards far more in detail than we did. We barely talked about them, and they got in depth, which was great because they really know what they're talking about over there. Also, hey Willie, I don't know if anybody said that to you yet in the chat. Glad you're here. Everybody in the chat, glad you guys are all here. Kenpachi, good to see you. And Landon, what is the nerdiest thing you've done this week?
Nerdiest thing I've done this week, I've gotten back into my little ROM machine here. I have filled it with ROMs. I only own physical copies of all the games I have put on this thing, I assure you.
Oh, wow, we're all so impressed.
And I have been mostly messing around with that over the week. I've just been playing around with settings, trying to get the best handheld gaming experience I can, which is hard to do since it has a bunch of different systems on it, and it's not the same for any of the systems. But it's fun. I assure you.
Yeah, that button mapping, that's a whole other skill set. Randy, what is the nerdiest thing you have done this week?
Prepare yourselves. The nerdiest thing I've done this week is got new tires for my car. Yeah.
I guess just everything's nerdy
nerd.
now.
Yeah. Yep. And then played Bloons Tower Defense. Yeah. Legends. Yeah. RuneScape. Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I had a flat the other day, and we've patched my tires so many times. They've just been due for new tires. So
They look like
friendly
Swiss cheese.
reminder: check your tire pressures, get your tires rotated, do
Yeah.
all the things that make tires last a little bit longer. Because it was like $700.
Damn. The nerdiest thing I did this week was broke out my wrestling shoes, shook off the ring rust, and joined them on No Gimmicks podcast, and got the opportunity to talk about my backyard wrestling days and show off my old title belt that I made out of an actual steel chair that was wrapped around my head at one point, and barbed wire, actual barbed wire. You know what I'm talking about. I might as well just grab it.
I'm like, huh?
Where did I put it?
At least it's close by.
Everybody stop looking.
We won't. I always thought that was a shirt on your chair. I didn't know it was a.
So a much younger Nerd King, back when he was known as the Killer Clown. This was my hardcore title belt that I made out of. This is the seat to an old steel chair that was at one point wrapped around my head. I straightened that sucker back out, and these plates are all pieces of that steel chair. And this is just vinyl. It snaps, and you can wear it. And if you see, it's kind of held together by these little pieces of wire. That's all uncoiled barbed wire that I used to piece it together. So back in my hardcore wrestling days, that was a thing I used to do, and that was the title belt from the Violent Wrestling Association, or the VWA if you're nasty. Landon, you look like you have something to say, but
No. I'm just saying, like, being a backyard wrestler is right up your alley. And the fact that you would take the thing that caused you pain and make it your trophy is also something very poetic that you would do simply for the poetry.
And I did. I did. I also made a hardcore crown at one point. We had like a King of the Ring style setup where if you won it, you got this crown, and it was made entirely out of barbed wire. And the intent was that it was basically Jesus's crown of thorns, but made out of barbed wire. And that was a thing for a little while. But my buddy was holding it, and he had it in a storage container that the payments lapsed on it, and so I have no idea where it went. It's gone forever. But, yeah, that was kind of cool too. But anyway, that is neither here nor there. Guys, drop the nerdiest things you've done this week in the chat, and we will move along. You guys want to talk about some news?
Yes.
Always.
Randy, why don't you fire those bullet points at me? Welcome to the Bullet Points, where we talk about some of, not all, the latest news in comics, anime, TV, video games, and movies. I will kick us off with comics news first. Randy, hold off on sharing this image until I trigger, or I tell you to. IDW Publishing and Mattel are reviving everyone's favorite series about four brothers who are humanoid creatures fighting crime in the big city. That's right. It's the Street Sharks. So Street Sharks #1. Yeah, Randy, go ahead. So Street Sharks #1 from writer Stephen Williams and art by Ariel Medell is picking up almost a little over 20 years later the adventures of the Street Sharks and bringing them back and continuing their adventures in Fission City. Were any of you guys Street Sharks fans?
Yes, I remember those. Oh my god, that's amazing. Sorry.
Mutant turtles can go suck it.
Yeah. So yes, they followed that trend of teams of mutated or humanoid creatures like Bikers Mice from Mars and Battletoads. And Street Sharks was very much a cash grab, jumping onto that same idea. They're four brothers in Fission City. who are humanoid alien hybrids that can swim through the actual concrete. I don't know. Physics didn't make sense there, but that's all right. It's a cartoon. Nobody cares. But anyway, so they are coming back. And I actually forgot to. Let me see. When is that issue dropping?
Hmm. I think they're swimming through it right now on the front.
Yeah, I don't even see a release date on it. I could probably find one if I looked. But anyway, just keep an eye out for it.
Who are these villains?
Oh, the villains. Yeah. So you've got. So the Street Sharks are Ripster, Jab, Streaks, and Big Slamu.
Streaks.
Yeah, Streaks, and they're facing off against their villains. I'm looking at some images of them, but I honestly I did not get into Street Sharks. I was a Ninja Turtles fanboy from the beginning, and when they started having all these ancillary characters with similar stories, I was like, nah, I'm good. Just keep my Ninja Turtles for me.
Stay faithful.
But anyway, Jen, what do we have over in anime news?
Anime news. Well, my friends, Leviathan. They actually talked about this on Eat the Cake. If you guys didn't watch it, well, you should probably catch up on it. Leviathan is going to be coming to Netflix soon. It's an adaptation from Scott Westerfeld's novel. And the series unveiled a new visual for it. There's actually a trailer that you can go out and watch, kind of, get familiar with what's going to be going on. But the premise is 1914 fugitive prince and a girl in disguise meet aboard a bioengineered airship and is called the HMS Leviathan. Looks pretty cool. Think you should check it out.
Yeah, that I mean, more anime is always a good idea.
I think there's too much anime. I can't keep up anymore.
Well,
I got caught up on one show this week, and there's still like 7 more that I need to catch up on.
you also think getting new tires is a dirty thing to do. So, Jen, what else did you have in anime?
Oh, well, actually, it's something that you told me about, Danny. Freyren, season 2 doesn't exactly have a, the season 2 got announced. So they said that the next season is going to be coming out in January 2026, but they didn't have a specific date yet, just that the season 2 is coming. And it sounds like everybody's really excited who are friends of the novels, getting into the next part of her journey. I guess everyone says it's even better than the first part of it.
Yeah.
They did also announce that the LA Anime Expo is going to be, Freyren's going to have their own panel where you can go in and talk to the some of the Japanese voice actors. And then I guess they're going to be releasing like more information about season 2. So
I love Freyren, so I cannot. I'm so excited for a season 2. Season 1 was great. It was like long. The episodes are well timed, and there was a lot of content there. It felt like you got a lot for your buck. But like, I just love that series so much. It's so beautiful. Both just the front ground with the characters and the backgrounds are beautiful. The scenery is beautiful. I had mentioned Leviathan being another series named Leviathan. I was thinking of Lazarus. I apologize, Jen. I'm an idiot.
Oh, was it Lazarus? Oh, yeah. That was really good.
I don't know why I was thinking that was the same name.
Okay.
Anyway.
I gotta say, I haven't seen any of Freyren. I know in between 3 fans, I'm admitting to a sin. But I do gotta say, I am happy to hear that the studio has just announced that they're working on it and haven't given just an arbitrary date on when it should be finished.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're giving their animators the proper time they need to work everything out and do the job right, which I'm always appreciative of.
Yeah, if you haven't checked it out yet, Landon, I highly recommend it. It does seem like something that is right up your alley. I think you would really enjoy it.
And everybody in the comments shun him for not having watched it already. Do it. It is like, it's right up there with like my favorites, like, and it's only been 1 season, so it could easily shit the bed, but I'm hoping it doesn't.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, well.
Moving along to TV news, a report from Chorus Entertainment confirms that the regular show, The Lost Tapes, the new series of continuing the story of the regular show, will air on Adult Swim Canada, with the likelihood that it will follow suit in the US. So making the transition from being a Cartoon Network series to being an Adult Swim Network series for the Lost Tapes. There is some speculation that this will be a prequel or take place prior to the ending of regular show, because creator J.G. Quintel has said that he really feels like regular show had a very satisfying ending, and so he doesn't feel like there's anything to tell beyond that. So it may take place earlier in the timeline before the ending of a regular show. J.G. Quintel is coming back to helm, and Mark Hamill has already confirmed that he is returning to voice Skips.
Hell yeah. I gotta say, did either of you watch Close Enough?
What was Close Enough? Oh, yes, the series. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. No. I know that he voiced, he was one of the creators of that, or was the creator of that, and he voiced one of the characters in the show.
Yeah, it was very much if regular show was for a bunch of 20-somethings who don't know what they're doing with their lives, Close Enough was for a bunch of 30-somethings who didn't know what to do with their lives. And honestly, I thought the humor was, I felt like it kept the same magic. I'm sorry that it wasn't as popular as regular show, but I felt like it really kept a lot of the same humor, just aged up, or for an older demographic. I don't want to say it got any more mature. But really, if they keep it on like that same level of writing, I'm not going to be upset with the new series.
Yeah, I love regular show. It's one of those series that it initially, like, I'd already been a fan of Adventure Time and Steven Universe, and it just felt like I wasn't going to like it as much whenever I first got into it. And then I got a few episodes in and I was like, I fucking love this show. So I'm glad we're getting more. I like his sense of humor. I like the way he writes his characters. I like how Mordecai and Rigby kind of have that same energy as Scott Pilgrim, in that they're like, yeah. We're train wrecks, but that's just who we are. That's our personality. So I enjoyed it. Moving along to gaming, Landon, what do you got?
All right, so two big stories. First and foremost, Activision has started putting ads on its loadouts for Black Ops 6 and Warzone, one of which is, actually, I think they're both full-price games. And people are like, what the fuck is this? It feels like I'm playing a mobile game. And like in today's gaming market, you're already paying for season passes, skins, loot boxes. Although loot boxes have kind of fallen out of fashion, but still tons of other microtransactions. They're really just making these games more like mobile games over time.
Yeah, it's like everybody gets the opportunity to pretend to be a NASCAR racer, because you're going to have or you're going to have ads and sponsorship on everything. So if we're taking the time to play these games and they're selling ad space on it, when are we getting our piece of it?
Definitely not in a price reduction, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What kind of ads are they? Are they like videos, or are they like just like a little Coca-Cola like logo?
They look to be mostly just static ads. Like there's an ad for Bluntman and the Chronic. And like just stuff like that. It's not even like advertising other games or anything like that. It's just whatever. It's like a billboard in the middle of the loadout screen.
That's wild. Because I'm sure it'll start with like Bluntman and the Chronic, and then it'll end up being Burger King's newest whatever.
Okay. Just real quick, so this doesn't become a thing. It's Bluntman and Chronic, not Bluntman and the Chronic.
Oh,
okay. Right.
Sorry.
Chronic, sorry.
Yeah. I have the comics if you need me to show them to you, but yeah, I am excited for Kevin Smith that they're going with his thing for this rollout of advertisements. That's kind of crazy that you
think he didn't just pay for it, Danny? You think it was really that high value that they weren't just like, oh, you'll pay for it? Cool.
I think that in this effort to roll this out, that the studio behind Kevin Smith's movies was like, you know what? We really need to advertise Bluntman and Chronic on this. That to me is like, wow, you know, Kevin Smith has been in the periphery of Hollywood celebrity and stardom for a very long time, but his movies and characters are very niche. They have not celebrated the kind of popularity that other, what's the word I'm looking for? Other properties have. So good for him. I mean, for a guy that made his first movie by maxing out credit cards so he could afford the budget, it's nice to see that he's at least in this, being considered for these things whenever they're picking and choosing who's going to be on them.
Yeah, well, I don't think they
Fucking
got their
sellout
money's worth.
bitch, Kevin Smith. Anyway,
I don't think they got their money's worth because they're already starting to roll these back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't worry, they'll start adding them to like your soldier's uniform will have like a Coca-Cola ad on, like a Coca-Cola logo on one shoulder, and like I don't know, Pepto-Bismol on the other, or God knows what.
Instead of like different teams, it'll be like Coke versus Pepsi teams.
Yeah, you'll get the hemorrhoid cream gun and all sorts of fun stuff like that. It's just a matter of time before somebody cracks
that's
that.
a game that they could just make as a game and just call it like product placement, the first person shooter.
Yeah,
and it's just all
that
the
would be
weapons
great.
are
Well,
marketed, and
they already have that. It's called Fortnite, and it's product placement for every fucking IP out there.
You would get to announce that Palpatine is returning in Fortnite, so you don't have to do it in your movie.
I don't play Fortnite, but they did do a Mistborn crossover with Brandon Sanderson, and Kelsier was a playable character in Fortnite for a little bit with his mist cloak, and I'm like, kind of wish I'd have done that.
See, that's how they get you, because that's happened several times to me where I'm like, ooh, this character, that's awesome. Maybe I should get it, and I have.
Well, they had like Transformers and now Star Wars with their lightsabers in the game.
Peter
like
Griffin.
I haven't sprung on it. I played Fortnite on my phone for a minute when it was like very first getting popular, just to see what it was. Did the same thing with PUBG, and then I was like, I don't think these are for me, and I've stayed away from them ever since.
Every new thing they add to Fortnite, it gets less and less appealing to me. I don't give a shit if it's something I like. It just becomes a garbage heap. Well, it's like saying I like ketchup, ice cream, raw cheese, and
the fuck is raw cheese?
It's cheese made with raw milk. And
I was gonna say, is that like unmelted cheese? I don't know. Like, you have to cook it. Do you like your cheese well done? I don't understand.
And flours, mixing it into one giant bowl and being like, you like all these things, so you like them all together, right? The answer is no, I don't. Some of those things I didn't even like.
I think I've seen that episode of Chopped. Yeah, I think that's they made some ice cream out of it. It was really good. Anyway, Landon, what would be the one IP that if they added it to Fortnite, you'd be like, fuck, I got to get it?
Nothing, honest to God.
There's nothing you love enough that you'd be like, oh God, I need this.
There is absolutely nothing on this earth that would make me want to play Fortnite. And here's the thing. Back when Fortnite first started, not as the Battle Royale, but as its original concept, which was the PvE fort building simulator, which is why it was called Fortnite. I was super interested in it. It seemed super awesome. But then they added the Battle Royale as an afterthought, and that became much more popular than the main game mode. And I thought that was a cool idea until it just became oversaturated. And I was like, okay, this is kind of just too much.
Jen, what is the one IP they could add to Fortnite that you'd be like, fuck yeah, I'm getting into this?
Probably anything from any book I read. Then I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm coming.
Any book? Okay. All right.
Any book I've read. I'm like, I don't really see like a lot of the books that I like doing anything. So if they like I feel seen, so I have to go and get it.
I don't think most of the books you read, the characters from that would be appropriate for what is supposed to be a children's game. But anyway, let's move along. Landon, what was the other story you had for gaming?
Oh, yeah. The other story. Russia has declared the creators of the video game World of Tanks as extremists. Lesta Games, or more accurately, Wargaming, the publishing company behind World of Tanks, declared support for Ukraine. And because of that, Lesta Games, the company that made World of Tanks, its founder, Malik Katazdev,
Nailed it.
have been labeled as extremists, and the companies have been nationalized. Russia has claimed all their assets and have just taken over the companies, essentially.
And that's crazy. Russia is usually so clear, level-headed, and understanding. I can't imagine they would do this to somebody.
I know, but you want to know the crazy thing?
Mm.
The founder of Lesta Games explicitly announced support for Russia. So even if you yourself have decide to support Russia, if you're even associated with others who have not, they'll still brand you as extremist.
Yeah, that's I mean,
Alright.
this is a weird time in the world right now, where there's some weird people running countries that definitely should not be, making some decisions that nobody is doing anything about, and I find it to be incredibly strange, in these countries that are some of the biggest world powers, that this is these people are allowed to thrive, and not only thrive but be fucking supported by a very vocal group that seem to think they're doing a good job, and it's obviously not the case. So yeah, that's I don't understand right now in time, and it'll be an interesting thing to be telling our grandchildren about, I think, someday.
Oh, you think we'll make it that far?
I mean, all my favorite futures are post-apocalyptic. So whether Grandpa is sitting on a rock in the shadow of a fallen civilization, as opposed to in the comfort of my own home, I think I'll still be telling the stories, and I do believe in my ability to survive these issues. So I think I'll be around. Justin Quick in the chat, what's up, Justin? Glad you're here. But yeah, so. I think I can make it to old age in a post-apocalyptic world. I think I've got the necessary skill set to keep my own people safe and thrive in that kind of setting. So I'm a little excited, like just at the possibility that could be my future. But either way, I mean, I haven't had enough reasons to use my longbow. So, but anyway, moving along to movie news. Marvel Studios unveiled the largest tie-in popcorn bucket to date, standing at 17.5 inches tall and 20 inches wide. That's right, it is the Galactus head, seen here on their Instagram page. So this is being released at AMC theaters starting on July 24th, and it will be a limited supply of people who can get this. So it's first come, first serve, and they're only making a limited run. They didn't say what that number is, but once they're gone, they're gone.
Actually looks like Galactus.
Yeah.
Like not like a cloudy monster thing in space.
Piss
Right.
cloud.
It said that it said that it had, and I forget the actor's name is Ralph something. Ralph Innes. It said that it actually has Ralph Innes's face on it. I don't see it. That looks like generic Galactus face. I don't think it looks like Ralph Innes.
Constipated Galactus.
Yes.
You're telling me they made an actual head as a bucket, and it is the least fuckable popcorn bucket out of any of the ones they've made?
Yeah, with that
Show me
attitude.
the logic. Explain that to me.
I see.
What's wrong with it?
3 ways to use this in a sexual manner.
It looks to me, now I could be wrong, it looks to me like it's just about the right size to cut the mouth out and mount a fleshlight onto it. So I think with just a small bit of ingenuity, we can achieve what they probably weren't willing to do, and then sell to people.
I shouldn't have to engineer it myself.
You remove the mouth and nose and replace it with the Dune popcorn bucket opening, and you're set.
I shouldn't have to modify the things I own to make them do what I want them to do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Landon.
We don't know what's on the other side of this, like ear, like on the right side. It could be like a Frieza situation. We don't know what the bottom looks like.
I don't think the
yes.
bottom's open.
I completely agree with Landon saying no one should have to put in any kind of work for their own sexual gratification. It should just be available.
Exactly.
Well, guys, I hope this news didn't just graze you. This has been the bullet points. All right, fam, welcome back. We've got some new trailers dropping this-ish week, but we literally have nothing to review this week. There was nothing new that I thought was worth my time or that I felt that was worth talking about. So thankfully, even if we had not had our technical difficulties, I would have been skipping the review portion of the show. And that will give us...
though, did you see the promo for One Piece?
That will give us more time to talk about our hit list and our 5 favorite worlds we would like to be isekai'd into. So welcome to the hit list. This week we're talking about our 5 favorite worlds we'd like to be isekai'd into, and to respond to Randy's previous question in the middle of my fucking segue. Randy, I did see the preview trailer for One Piece, the live action One Piece season 2, revealing Chopper and his voice actor as the character, and he's adorable. And I'm excited.
I had to say was he's adorable.
He is absolutely adorable. They really, in that little piece that they showed us, and that one piece they showed us, I think Chopper was perfect. They nailed it perfectly. I'm excited to see what they do with the character. I am concerned, based on what we saw in season 1 of the live action One Piece, that we're not going to get a lot of Chopper scenes, considering he is a completely CGI rendered character. So I don't imagine he's going to be as prevalent as he is in the manga and the anime.
It's going to be a lot of like what they did with Avatar, the live action, where they're like, Appa, wait here. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then that's it.
It'd be like, Chopper, how did you get stuck in that barrel? Just be
Here,
a barrel
eat
scooting
the
across.
human rumble ball.
Yeah.
Cool. Now you're just a dude in a hat.
Right. They switch from like whenever he goes from the tiny Chopper body to like the big fighter body, it's actually a person in a furry suit.
It's just the Rock.
Yeah. And it's not CGI at all. Like, yes, that would be ways they could get around the budget issue of trying to CGI a character in mocap for the entirety of the second season, and then every season after that, if the second one doesn't bomb terribly. But they're riding a pretty good wave of not being god awful like every other Netflix live action anime. That's my favorite thing about the One Piece live action, is that it's not good. It's just not shit. And so by comparison to like Death Note and Cowboy Bebop and the other live action adaptations we've gotten, it's just watchable. And people are like, oh my God, it's so good. Can you believe how good it is? It's like, it's not that good. Compared to One Piece, it's not that good.
It's just they put effort into it.
Yeah. But yeah, Oda has, very much been a part of getting this show going, and he signs off on everything they can and cannot do, which is great. Because I feel like there's a lot of these Americanized live actions, they did not consider the creator at all.
Or the story.
Yeah.
When you talk about Death Note.
Death Note definitely did not consider the story of Death Note at all. They were like, what can we do that's entirely different? But let's cast Willem Dafoe.
That was a perfect casting.
Yeah,
you didn't even need to put him in makeup.
What's that character's name? Let's cast the perfect character to play
Ryuk? No. Ryuk? No. Ryuk.
Ryuk. Let's cast the perfect person to do a live action Ryuk, and then just shit the bed entirely around everything else in the show.
If you burn
Ryuk
the book,
was really good,
no one
though.
dies.
Ryuk's great in it.
I mean,
Ryuk
he
is great.
looked amazing. I thought
He's
Ryuk
not-
looked amazing.
He's not great enough to carry the fact that L was not L, and Light fucking sucked and was a whiny little bitch the whole show. Like,
Yeah.
It was a teen drama.
Yeah.
Whenever it's like, no, that's not what that show is.
yeah, it's so far. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and bitch about the live action One Piece, or not One Piece, the live action Death Note all night. I'm just saying that was garbage. They barely put any effort into making that. If they'd have called it something else, it'd have been fine for somebody. But compared to the actual Death Note, that was terrible.
They could have named it "Book What Make You Die."
Terrible.
Man, I'm loving this hit list.
Black. Let's get to
I
the
was
hit
trying
list.
to get in between it. That's why I was interrupting you.
Black in the chat said yo, and CJ Lovelady from Nightmares and Nerdscapes also in the chat also said yo. Glad you guys are here. Let's do this hit list. All right, so 5 worlds we would like to be isekai'd into. Jen, would you be so kind as to kick us off with your number 5?
Sure. My first one, well, my 5th one would be Avatar, The Last Airbender. I know that like a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about, it's like war torn. There's things going on, but I just think it would be really cool to have like some sort of like elemental ability. And I don't have to necessarily be Aang, but if I could be an airbender, I'm sold. Like,
I'm Fire Nation. Fire Nation, hands down.
You're Fire Nation. See, my thing is, I don't like the air is always there. I can always use it. Like, I don't have to be like, you know, some people. I'm like, oh, there's no water. I'll just pull the blood from your body. And I'm like, it's really dark. Yeah.
Landon, where would you be? What kind of bender? What are you thinking?
I don't think I'd be a bender. I just straight up, I don't think I have that in me to be a bender. I'm just Landon.
Okay.
You be the guy with the cart and the cabbages
non-bender until you unlock your airbending in Korra, because that's exactly the attitude of someone who doesn't need to be a bender, but that's why you get it.
Randy, where you at? What's your bending style?
Probably water. It's the one I think I would want.
Okay, three of the 4 bending styles represented. So cool beans.
And non-bender, we got to represent the non-bender.
You said he was going to be an airbender.
Well, maybe.
You called an audible.
Not for a little while.
Randy's telling people where they're going to be. He's placing people. He's the sorting hat for the Avatar verse.
Mm-hmm.
Landy, what did you have for your number 5?
All right, my number 5. It is the Boiling Isles from the Owl House. So in the Owl House, there's like it's all magic. All right, they're all witches and or demons. It's not like a hectic universe, but it's all magical. Everything's magical based, very much structured like our own society, you know, school, government, so on and so forth. And like all the magic, despite the fact that it is used for combat a lot, it's actually a lot more utility based. Like, oh, you have the ability to make abominations. Well, you're mostly making like workforce for the isle and everything. Oh, you do plant magic. You can make a giant tree to attack your enemies, or you could grow all over food. One of those is more useful than the other, honestly. And I just like a society that knows how to structure its magical resources, not just for combat. And I really like seeing that. Also, as you saw, the Boiling Isles was a giant corpse of a Titan, which is pretty badass.
I was not aware of the Owl House, and I feel like I need to watch this now.
It is so good.
It is so good.
So good. It is
okay.
It's like a kid's show that doesn't need to be a kid's show. It's so good.
Already major brownie points I have for the show that I think you might like. Disney executives wrote off the show after a season and a half because it wasn't getting the numbers they wanted. And then they just released it on YouTube for free just before the 3rd season. And then it did gangbusters because they realized they were marketing to the wrong demographic. They were doing like the 7 to 11-year-old when it did amazing in like the teen and young adult audience. And then Disney executive, a memo got leaked around the time of the 3rd season from a Disney executive saying, yeah, we fucked up on this show. We should have marketed better. This is all on us.
Okay, yeah, that sells it to me. I think I might need to dive into this.
It is so good. And it's like, happy Pride, everybody.
Happy
it's very
Pride.
Like inclusive and like representative of like everyone. And it's awesome. And they do it like well, where it's not like,
it's not shoehorned in.
Yeah, it's just like it's a normal thing. Like it's, you know, Nobody makes a big deal out of anything, and it's just, it's oh my gosh, it's so good.
Also, the creator has another series coming out soon, so might as well watch it to get used to their style.
Okay. Yeah. Sold. I'll do it. Randy, what'd you have for your number 5?
My number 5 is, I've only seen this movie like once, but I feel like I do well here. Idiocracy, which I apparently found the poster in Spanish.
Really?
Yeah.
Idiocracy, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're pretty close already. I think I do well in this universe.
Yeah.
That's
I don't even have to be like the most
Yeah.
powerful. I could just be me, and I think I'd fare okay.
It's got what plants need.
Yeah,
Electrolytes.
Brando.
Go away. I'm in my baiting chair.
But yeah, that's mine. Idiocracy universe, because I think I could manage there.
You guys.
I don't
would
know if I
spend
can
all your
survive
time at
zombie
Starbucks.
apocalypse, but I could have survived
Yeah.
Idiocracy, I think.
Yeah. Idiocracy is a fun world to visit. I wouldn't want to live there. Please God, I don't want to live there. Stop.
You already do. You
Yeah.
already do.
I know.
You best start believing in Idiocracy.
Randini,
Because
what we
you're
got in the
in one.
chat?
We have the world of John Wick. Not as an assassin, but an average Joe watching assassins do some dope shit.
Yeah, I think
Same.
if I was Isekai'd into the world of John Wick, I would want to be the strongest assassin. I want, I want to be like the Baba Yaga, but worse. Like I want people to be like, oh, definitely don't kill that guy's dog.
Yeah, I was say, or you could be Isekai'd into John Wick world as his second dog,
Oh God,
because you're going to be safe then.
boy is such a good boy. I love him so much.
See, the idea of being an average Joe watching the assassin sounds fun at first, but then your commute gets fucked up because there was a crash somewhere, or you find out that you have to be let go because your boss got killed in the crossfire, or you find out that the person you're dating is also an assassin, so you have to get, once again, caught up in the crossfire. Like, it sounds fun at first until you try to live there.
Or you're walking in the park and everybody stops and freezes and stares at one person that's also in the park, and you're like, wait, what? Who? What? Because that would freak me out. I know that.
I have a couple of issues with don't get me wrong, I like the John Wick movies. I enjoy them. I've seen all of them.
But
I like all of them. I think they're great. I've complained previously about the things where John is great and then he's randomly stupid for no reason and gets captured, and then he's great again for the rest of the movie. And it's like, why did he make this one really dumb mistake when it's so against his character? The thing that you're talking about, in the first John Wick, whenever they shoot Adrian Padalecki's character in the park. They have her meet in like this place, and 4 guys stand directly. They make an X standing directly across from her, and they all shoot her in the head at the same time. You don't line up across from each other to shoot things, even if you're accurate. If the bullet goes through, you're shooting the other guy.
Hey,
What the hell?
They're all
I get
assassins.
visually that it was cool, but that was such a bad idea. What if she ducked? What if she ducked at the last second? What if she was good?
you could have neoed it. Like,
Yeah, all 4 of those guys were dead. Who thought that was a good idea?
Maybe it was like they had a contract out for her and the guy across from them, so they were like saving money on bullets.
yeah.
Willie's like the bullets all met in the middle. Yeah, they're
Yes,
so
they're all-
accurate. Their bullets high
so
five,
accurate. Yeah,
like in the middle.
I was just like,
That's gonna be written into a movie where all four bullets hit and just the person explodes.
yeah, exact. Like if that had happened, and also 4 shots, she didn't have a head left, which is not what happens in the movie. But also, it is also possible. I'm already going to blow a hole in my theory here. The only reason that wouldn't be bad is if only one gun was loaded and it was 4 guys and only one guy killed her. Then maybe they weren't risking as much. Like the odds of a bullet going all the way through the skull and still having the velocity to hurt somebody on the other side is much lower, or that it travels straight after hitting her. Much lower, but otherwise 4 dudes shooting at the same time.
I don't remember this part.
Terrible fucking idea. I rewatch this movie regularly with my oldest daughter. We both love John Wick and we both rewatch it. We just watch it for funsies. I've seen the movie 100 times. It's a good time. I like it, but every time that scene comes around, I'm just like, what? Anyway,
Well, you
moving.
got to get that close because also they have the tuxedos and the suits, the fabric that's like bulletproof.
Not everyone has that
extremely.
though.
Yeah, but you don't know.
Yes.
Maybe she had a shawl that she could flip up.
It is possible that they organized that all of them had bulletproof jackets on when they decided to all 4 shoot a lady simultaneously.
And they just like go like this, the bullets coming at them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just block it like that.
I don't know. Anyway, what else we got in chat?
We got Dark City.
I fucking love Dark City. It is such a good movie. It is from the same if I remember correctly, the same director as The Crow, the 1994 one, the good one. And it takes place in a world where it's always dark, and there's like this shadow government that's running things, and the main character is trying to figure out. Like he gets, I think he gets framed for a murder, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. And so the whole thing's this great big mystery and this conceit. And spoiler for Dark City, if you haven't seen it, it turns out at the end that they are a group of humans that have been captured by a race of aliens, and they're being experimented on. And the city is actually inside of their spaceship. And the main character, the human character, gains these crazy abilities, kind of like Matrix in the Neo in the Matrix, and he frees the human race from captivity, only to find out that they are in the middle of fucking space on a ship. Good movie. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be so fun. As long as I go in with the information I already have about it. If I go in just to be a normal person who loses hours and hours of his life because the city resets every so often and you just lock up for no reason, that's not as great. But yeah, I can see it being a cool world to hang out in.
We also have Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar. I want to fly the... I don't know how to say that.
You got this?
I haven't seen this movie in so long. I don't know how to say those words. I have no idea if I spelled any of them
For our
right.
audio only listeners, who said it? And then can you please read the whole comment?
Black Mac says 5 Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar. I want to fly the Isekai'd.
Nailed it.
Maybe be Tarak Matau.
So good.
Makto. I have no idea if I spelled any of that right.
It seems right to me. Yeah, dude, we won't tear into this too much because it may appear on someone else's list. So Black Mac, thank you so much for that comment. Yeah, and I would like that. I would like to pilot a 7-foot tall alien being's body in a crazy world where everything's big.
Why
And
not?
cosplay the entire story from Pocahontas. Anyway, my number 5 is the world of Dragon Ball. Specifically, any time within the Dragon Ball Z to the Dragon Ball Super saga. And all of my picks on my list, I enter these worlds with the isekai trend of always being the strongest thing in the world. So I want to show up and wreck Goku and give him something to aspire to so he can reach my level of incredible isekai power. And then I want to become best friends with him and hang out and eat lots of food and be terrible dads together or whatever.
What would you be, human, or would you be Saiyan, or would you be whatever else?
If I was picking a race from the Dragon Ball universe, I think, yes, I would like to be Saiyan. Just based on the fact that as long as they are fighting, they don't age. So they're basically an immortal race as long as they stay in the fight. So yeah, I think I would pick Saiyan. And they have no upper limit on their power scale. They can always get stronger just
Keep
based
getting,
on
like
fights.
stabbed and then stronger when you heal is a cool like speed run hack of how to get to be the strongest.
Yeah, every time you get your ass kicked, you get stronger. And I'm already the strongest. So like it'd be a good time. Jen, what did you have for your number 4?
My number 4 is the Never Ending Story. It's a little strange, but I'm kind of torn between being Atreyu and being Bastion, because Bastion eventually does go into Fantasia, or Fantastica if you're a novel fan. I'm kind of torn between the two because I would love to have Falcor and go flying around and go on adventures there. Or, Bastion actually goes in there and does eventually does the same thing. But I just think that the world was so interesting and I love that movie as a kid. I'm super excited about the remake. So sign me up.
I wouldn't mind having a wish dragon. Yeah, Doka plates there.
My biggest I watched this movie recently, like as an adult, because I had seen bits of it when I was younger. But he gets like a wish, like he's able to wish for anything, and he like wishes to remake like what was it called?
Fantasia
and everything, and like all that. And I'm like, that's great, but your mom's also dead, and he doesn't wish his mom back to life.
He has a very healthy relationship with the loss that he felt around his mother, and he resolved those issues.
Yeah, which that was more the framing
He wasn't
device,
trying to drag her back to life. That wish always blows up in your face. You end up with a zombie, or you resurrect your mom, and then some random person you don't know dies, but it turns out they were your one true love, and you're never going to meet them. Like, it's just risky wishing people back to life. But unless you're in the Dragon Ball universe, then it's just totally normal.
He also uses it to like harass his bullies.
Yes.
And then not wish his mom
revenge porn fantasies were one of the biggest sellers in the 80s and 90s movie trope, for sure. What's that? Jen. What's that? Is it 5 o'clock high? Is that the name of it? There's a movie.
3 o'clock high.
3 o'clock high. Okay. There's a movie from the 80s where this kid, the bully at his school, he tells him he wants to fight him in the parking lot after school, and it turns into a whole thing because, like, first off, he's like skipped a few grades and he's way older than everybody else at the school. He's also massive, and he literally, like, the principal at the end of near the end of the movie comes up and tells him they're not going to fight. And he grabs the principal's finger and fucking breaks it sideways. Like, this kid's fucking nuts. And this other, like, really small nerdy kid's going to fight him in the parking lot. And it turns into a whole fucking brawl. But that whole movie is revenge porn. Like, just the whole premise is like one very small kid beating the shit out of the most dangerous bully in the history of inner city schools.
I'm so glad I'm not the only person that has seen that movie, because I was like, love that movie.
Yeah. I was trying to think of what else. The bully was in another movie, but I can't remember what it was. But he's kind of known for another film where he's also a violent, crazy person. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. Landon, what do you have for your number 4?
All right. My number 4 is Lordran, the land for Dark Souls 1 and 2. Now, you're going to see a little bit of my Catholic come out for this one, because I am always a glutton for punishment. All right? And in the world of Dark Souls, if I am like the chosen undead, if I am the Ashen One, if I am him, then every fight I get into, I can take over and over and over again until I finally come out up top, until I win. And in our daily lives, we don't always get that chance, Sometimes when you lose a fight, you're completely down, I mean, some fights, whether it be the fight of productivity or the fight for happiness, the fight for anything, you can make that fight over and over again. Not every time, but a lot of time in life. But in the world of Dark Souls, you could do that with absolutely everything. No catches, nothing. And you know what? I can be down for that. I can be down for a world where I can win every fight as long as I have the perseverance to just take
it. So I've not played any of the Dark Souls games, but you do know I I played Bloodborne and I played Elden Ring, and I do love that idea of just fucking get good, man. Like die as many times as you need to, but fucking figure it out. Like I think that's
Honestly,
cool.
It's not even get good. It's just keep going until you get that little niche. You don't have to be good. You just have to be good enough. You know?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm adjusting my light.
But yeah, it's just that's my number 4.
It's me. I'm the problem.
I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, dude, that's a great pick. I love how you equated that to Catholicism.
Oh, Catholics are gluttons for punishments. It's what comes with the religion.
Yeah, they started
Even though
when
I'm
you're young,
not,
for sure.
even though I'm an atheist now, it sticks with you.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, and this is a religious question. If you got Isekai'd into any other world, would you still be an atheist?
I mean, it depends, because in other worlds, the gods actually come down and interact with the humans. But also in those worlds, in plenty of those worlds, the gods can also be defeated and or killed. So I don't know. I guess I can't say atheist, but I can't say I respect the gods either in a lot of these
I'll
worlds.
throw a little wrench to that. Like the act of being isekai'd, does that not like shake like your faith a little bit in like atheism, where it's like,
I don't know. You could just be like,
huh?
You could just be like, wow, the universe really is chaotic and random. I can't believe I was resurrected in this other world.
Where it'd be like, huh? Did something do this, or is this just happen to everybody?
I mean, if you never got an answer, you could never have an answer. You just be like, wow, that's crazy.
I feel as though I'd probably pick myself up and be like, my most important thing would be trying to figure out, okay, where am I? How do I get myself to safety? How do I live in this world? And then I'd focus on all the existential parts.
Yeah, that's true.
Good plan.
Usually people don't discover religion until they have time to do so.
Mm.
Okay, moving along. Randy, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Gravity Falls. It's kind of just a weird universe that's also fun. And none of the threats are, well, that's not true. Some of the threats are pretty horrible, but none of the threats are like insurmountable, except for probably Bill Cipher. But
yeah, Bill Cipher for sure. That dude's fucking terrifying.
But you'll have fun regardless. Even he kind of like would make it a little bit fun before he like peels your skin off. But yeah, it's kind of in the same vein of Owl House.
Jen, I get the feeling you've not watched Gravity Falls. Is that accurate?
My kids watch it?
Jen, you need to watch Gravity Falls.
Says the
Okay.
person who's not watched the Owl House
Yet. I haven't watched
I
Owl
know.
House yet.
But the what's the guy's name that he's in Owl House? Like he's heavily involved in Owl House too.
Is he the
Alex
creator
Hirsch.
or the actors?
Alex Hirsch, yeah.
No, Alex Hirsch voice acts in the Owl House.
Yeah.
He plays King and Hootie and I'm sure others.
He's
but-
Grunkle Stan in Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
and Bill and Dipper, or is Dipper?
No,
someone
he's not
else?
Dipper.
Okay.
It's Jason Ritter. John Ritter's son is the voice of Dipper.
But yeah, he's good, and I think him and Dana Terrace dated briefly, and she's the creator of the Owl House. So
Cool.
So like they have similar vibes, so
Cool.
they go hand in hand, kind of. Not,
interesting.
I don't think the worlds are like related, but yeah.
We haven't gotten to sign the contract yet, but one of the Gravity Falls voice actors is possibly coming to Cape Con 2025 for the 20th anniversary. So I can't announce them yet, but it's a big one. They've been in damn near everything, and if we get them, it's a huge get. But she was also in Gravity Falls as well as a bunch of other really cool series.
We got a
Heck
hint.
yeah.
So
right.
possibly announce soonish. I'm waiting to hear back from an agent. Anyway, what do we have in chat? Wait, no, Randy, what's your number 4? That was your number 4.
Oh, yeah.
Randy, what do we have in chat?
Mac, aka your boy, says the world of Pokemon. I need a Charizard on demand to flamethrow people that irk me.
Fuck yeah, dude. Charizard would be my first
I'm
choice
there.
if I was going to get a Pokemon. Well, obviously, Charmander, Charmeleon, and then Charizard.
Cloth all the way.
Yeah.
My favorite Pokemon.
Yeah.
Gotta get me a panic little crab.
What
but that's a
what
very
would be
good
your
pick.
go-to Pokemon if you could capture one, guys?
Breloom.
Okay.
That's a good choice too.
Jen?
Mm,
Pikachu's a fine answer, Jen. It's okay.
I was gonna say Pikachu. How did you know?
I just assume you don't know many Pokemon.
I don't.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Ampharos would also be a hard one to turn down, but Cloth is.
He's
a
the Japanese
little
Mickey
crab.
Mouse. It's totally fine. Anyway, what else we got?
Nightmares and Nerdscape says Kryn.
Not familiar with Kryn, but I will look it up while we talk about Black Max, number 4.
Black Mac has Narnia because hell yes. Speaking of Catholicism or just Christianity in
Yeah.
general.
What about literal lion Jesus?
I would
Actually,
definitely- Dragon says Nightmare and Nerdscape.
Oh,
C.S.
yeah,
Lewis,
Dracula's novel.
the author of Narnia, was Catholic.
Oh, okay.
In fact, he credits himself to converting J.R.R. Tolkien.
So, yes, if you are not familiar with C.S. Lewis's broader works outside of fantasy, he wrote a book called Mere Christianity that described his journey into atheism and then to being a born-again Christian, because his views did not line up with the Christianity he was seeing, and then he found his way to a Christianity that made more sense to him, and then came back to the church. I also highly recommend reading the Screw Tape Letters, but Mere Christianity is a great work on understanding Christianity in a much better way and making it work for the real world as opposed to the fantasy world that everybody seems to think Christianity is. Not promoting it myself. I'm not a Christian, but I did find the book to be really interesting. Dragonlance kicks ass. If you're not familiar with the Dragonlance universe, get there. I love all of those books and totally agree with CJ. That's a great choice. My number 4 is this one, again, with the conjecture that I am going to be the strongest thing in this isekai world, is the world of DC Comics. The first thing I do day one of being isekai'd into DC Comics is go to Metropolis and beat the shit out of Superman. That's day one. I'm not a villain. I don't want to hurt anybody. But that fucker's had it coming for a long time. He totally deserves it. I don't care which version of Superman you are throwing at me. I'm stronger than him. And I'm going to beat him into the dirt just to do it. And just to let him know I'm around. And then I'm going to go hang out with Batman.
Well, I think you should reverse that. I think you, as Isekai'd rules go, you'd be the strongest and the most likable. So go make friends with Batman so you don't have to smooth things over after beating his buddy up.
Dude, as much as Batman and Superman are best friends, if you showed up in Gotham, if you went to New Jersey and hung out with Batman in Gotham and you were like, hi, my name's Danny. I just beat the shit out of Superman, but I just wanted to come say, hey, I don't have any ill will or bad intent. I wanted to hang out with you if that's cool. I think it would be cool.
Big fan. Sorry about your parents.
Yeah. Sorry about your mom and dad.
Superman's ass.
I'm around if you
bring
need
that
me. If Superman can't handle it, say it's a cloudy day or somebody's wearing a kryptonite necklace or something, and you need somebody that can, jump in, let me know. Max said he's going to make a plan to kill you that night. Batman has one rule, and it's that he doesn't kill. So not worried about that. And secondly, again, I am the strongest, most capable person in the world. So I would see him coming. I
just realized in this scenario, you're just a more dangerous Batmite.
Yeah. Yep. All those 2 fifth-dimensional beings that exist, those 3 fifth-dimensional beings that exist within the DC world, Batmite, Mr. Mixius Pitalik, and I forget what Nightwing's is, but Nightwing also has a fifth dimensional imp that follows him around, who's his biggest fan.
Is that imp more caked up than Nightwing is?
No. Max says he had plans to cancel out the Justice League. He totally did. That's absolutely true. Batman could make a plan to get rid of me. It would just fail. I again, this is Isekai rules. I am the strongest and most capable in the world. Unfortunately, no matter how much or how well people write Batman, I'm still going to trump every ability he has. Moving along, Jen, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is from Studio Ghibli, is Howl's Moving Castle. So this is probably one of my most favorite Studio Ghibli films. You know, I would totally be Howl. I would, have half my heart being, I guess, possessed by a demon, and then I would have like this magical house and all these amazing powers. And dude, I just really want the house. I mean, you can just change it on a whim. Just like, back up, guys.
You'd be voiced by Christian Bale.
You can't beat that, especially when he does his dark voice. But yeah, that's what I would. I would love that. And this house moves around.
Great choice, Lando. What do you got for your number 3?
My number 3 is the Providence of Siriel in Tamriel. So it is the Elder Scrolls universe, and honestly, it's a pretty fantastical universe. It is a fantasy universe. Being able to just go around and live around in that universe just sounds fun. If I am the chosen one, then that's even better, because I can fuck off and do whatever I want, whenever I want, even with a big, bad end of the world disaster approaching at any second. I can just do whatever. I really am also just the god's very special boy at all times. And I rock up, very special boy. I rock up to any of the gods, and they're almost certainly like, hey, I got something for you to do. And if you do it, you get rewarded with my special item or my special boon or both. I'll give you anything. And you really are just like the very special boy of all the gods, truly the most protagonist of all the protagonists out there. And it just sounds like a fun time.
I just imagine like the gods up there being like, oh, let me look down on my very special boy. And they like zoom in on you, and you're a vampire, broad daylight in the middle of nowhere, running from shadow to shadow, trying not to burst into flames. Like, fuck, I gotta cure this. Because that's what happened to me whenever I play this game.
Yep. I'm just there, and I am just picking flowers and whatever else can be used as alchemy ingredients, just being like, I'm gonna make the best potions ever.
You're just grabbing ingredients and stuffing them in your mouth, trying to figure out what they do.
Pretty much.
Okay. Randy, what was your number 3?
My number 3 is a tentative To Be Hero X, because the series isn't like complete yet, and I don't know if I will want it by the end of it. But having a system where like the more popular you are, the greater your power is pretty cool. And you got the little like display on your wrist. It's just subscribers give you power. It's just a cool universe, and so far it's cool, except for when it turns 3D animation, it looks like a Barbie movie. Not the Barbie movie, one of like the like Barbie that in the Nutcracker Suite movies. Yeah,
as I said last week, it just reminds me of Ladybug, the Miraculous Ladybug. That's kind of the vibe I get from that series. And I think we talked about this a few weeks prior to that. It does kind of feel like an episode of Black Mirror as well.
Yeah,
one of my favorite episodes of Black Mirror. But like the animation is good. It's just sometimes I look at it, I'm like, looks like I'm watching a Barbie film. But yeah, I would say that's my number 3, and we'll see if that stands or if that is a horrific choice.
That's a
to
great
be
choice.
Number 1, because there's a guy who can't bend over to use the bathroom because his believers his followers believe that he cannot be like knocked over or ever
He never
like
bends.
sit down. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what his name was, but yeah, they put him in a thing where he can't
Firm
sit down
man.
to poop. Like, it's silly as shit. What did we have as our number 3s in chat?
Macya Boy says Wizarding Worlds, House Slytherin, enough said.
Yes.
I am also a Slytherin. I'm with you, Mac. We could hang out in our quarters, or I don't know, break all the rules and break into like the not very secured wizarding banks that if you just happen to live in a world where everybody has access to all these same spells, you can get into fucking everything. Because clearly, if like what is functionally a 6th grader can do it, an adult can too.
Wait, I want to know, Willie, are you going to speak like parcel tongue and control snakes? Like how Slytherin are we going here?
like Hugh should not be named.
Yes. Like Uber Slytherin? Well, I mean, he's kind of evil. You don't have to be evil, but you know.
Yeah.
I'm signing up for a full. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Got
Willie's
to
doing
talk to
the whole
people.
damn thing. He's going
Doing
he's
the
going
whole
full dark
thing.
wizard.
Going in.
As Slytherin as possible. He's a full racist.
Just see what it feels like to split your soul into a Horcrux.
Like Salazar Slytherin himself. He hates everybody who isn't him.
I'd definitely be a Hufflepuff because that's closest to the.
Max said hashtag Merlin was a Slytherin. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. But yeah, I was sorted in Slytherin house. Could not be happier about that. Actually, not that I'm not grabbing enough shit off my shelf regularly.
It's okay. Show it off.
Oh no!
There went my Kane figure.
I love that.
I don't know how my headphones are going to work with this.
Do behind your
I can
head.
do it. I believe in me.
How do wizards listen to music?
I mean, they don't
Or
typically
AirPod.
wear the sorting hat, but the sorting hat was Merlin's, was it not? There we go. It might. I can't remember which headphone works. Anyway, this thing's cool. What else do we have in chat?
We have Nightmare and Nerdscape saying New Jersey, circa Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Dude, I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force so
Why
much.
take
That
the meat
show's
bridge?
so good. Yeah, and I do a fairly decent Meatwad impression.
Do the meat bridge. Do the meat bridge.
So this thing's also a puppet, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, I just have the one Meatwad quote that I do, but I think I do it pretty well. But it's you're not allowed to say words like damn and hell and ass. Now you get your damn hell and ass back to your room. That's my one.
Best.
My one Meatwad quote.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving along, my number 3, very similar to my DC Universe choice. It is the world of One Punch Man. Now, this one's a little more altruistic. I just want to give my boy Saitama a fight where he can land more than one punch. So, with the Isekai idea that I'm the most powerful thing in the universe, I think I can take at least 2 punches from Saitama and give my boy what he deserves, the fight he's been looking for since he started working out to begin with. So that's literally the only reason I want to go to this world. I want to help him shop on Saturdays and clip coupons and let him spar with someone he can land more than one punch on. That's it.
You would have got that mosquito the first time.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'd crush that mosquito. Fuck that mosquito. That is the only. I was asking somebody one day. I was like, do they? Because like they don't have a lot of flying bugs in Europe, and I was wondering about Japan if that was the same thing. I was talking to Katrina, and I was like, do they have mosquitoes in Japan? And I was like, oh, they have to, because there's an episode of One Punch Man where he's trying to kill a mosquito, and that wouldn't be the case if they didn't have mosquitoes in Japan. So learning through anime, the more you know. Jen, what's your number 2?
My number 2, actually, I share with Black is Avatar, James Cameron Avatar. I think that would be so cool to be one of the Na'vi, and like, you know, she's right there with like one of the seeds from the tree spirit. But yeah, just to be able to connect the animals, like you can have one that flies and you can have one that swims and, you know, sleep in a tree. I don't know. Sign me up. That sounds amazing.
And you
Yes.
can like 8-9 feet tall.
Yes.
That's like just a bonus, which it's relative to everybody else who is also like 8 or 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
So it might not be as exciting, but that'd still be cool.
It does seem like a fun world to hang out in, especially if you are one of the Na'vi.
Mhm.
Disney World. I haven't been to Disneyland yet, but Disney World, one of the best rides at that park, besides Smuggler's Run, obviously, is in the Wild Kingdom. They have the like Avatar, like Wild Flight or something ride, where you get to fly on one of those. I don't remember the name of them, but those pterodactyl looking things that they have. You get to ride on one, and it's basically like a motorcycle seat, and you strap in. It's got a 3D screen that moves around you, and you go on a full flight, like down to the water. And as you cross the water, it throws mist on you through the ride. Like you get the full experience of like being actually on one of these things, and it's so fun. And it made me want it. It really made me want to have the opportunity to do that in real life because it was so cool.
Wow. Awesome.
And I also like that you had both avatars on your list.
Right?
Yeah, when you said the first one and I showed it, I was like, wait, did she say The Last Airbender or did she say James Cameron's?
Yeah.
No, you're
I
right.
thought I
You're
messed
right.
it up.
You had Avatar both ways. Landon, what'd you have for your number 2?
Okay, my number 2, it is Stardew Valley. You're telling me my grandfather bequeathed me a farm where all the crops are profitable. All I have to do is plant and water them, and they're just good to go after a while, unlike actual farming where it takes a lot of hard work, planning, crop rotations, fertilizer, and all the shit that goes into managing an actual farm. It's just that easy. Hell yeah. You're telling me it's located next to a small town where the people are pretty easy to get along with, and I can live my life however I see fit, and they really don't judge or like ostracize me, unlike a lot of places in the world. Hell yeah. You're telling me there are caves around the corner where when I do get into an adventurous spirit, I can go fight monsters, mine, get golden gems whenever I want, as long as I have a decent fighting ability and the ability to mine. Hell yeah. You're telling me I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning on the dot and I am filled with energy. I am perfectly well rested and I'm ready to be productive. Hell yeah. Stardew Valley.
No downsides.
Is the music like diegetic or is it, do you have to turn it on? Do you hear that music constantly? Because that's really the only thing I know about Stardew Valley is the music is like very nice.
I feel as though if that was diegetic, it would really have to be turned down to what it normally feels like. Because otherwise trying to talk to people sounds like it'd be hell. But
Diegetics, like L. Ron Hubbard?
yes, I loved his novels, Diegetics. Have you read Diegetics? I can give you a copy.
No.
All right.
You mean Dianetics?
No, it's Diegetics.
Cool, close enough. Anyway,
The one god?
yeah, no downsides to Stardew Valley. That sounds incredible.
No, I'm sorry to announce, but I am an SP. I'm sorry to tell you this.
You're a suppressive person?
Yes. So if you cannot be around SPs, feel free to click off the show. Don't do it.
I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
I don't either.
You need to learn the tech, Danny. You need to learn the fucking tech.
He's an SP.
Okay, later after the show's over, explain to me what the fuck we're talking about because I'm moving on. Randy, what do we have in chat? Oh, Randy, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Full Metal Alchemist. On one hand,
Nice.
fascism. On the other hand, circle-based magic. Not unlike the Owl House, where there's fascism, but also circle-based magic. And I'm down for that.
So it's a lot like our current state, but magic.
But magic,
But
yeah.
magic.
Like I can deal with a like totalitarian guy who's running puppeteering things with his religious-based like compatriots. But I also get magic. Yes, please. Yes, please. That's mine. It's very fun.
One of the greatest anime of all time, and I don't know who hasn't looked at that and been like, man, if I could be like Ed, that'd be awesome. Just who doesn't want to be able to just like convert their arm to a fucking knife?
This is another selling point for Owl House. It's literally like they draw inspiration from like the witches in Owl House. Literally draw circles in the air that like creates their magic.
What were you saying, Landon?
But Randy, it's not magic in Full Metal Alchemist. They make it very clear that it's a science.
Sure. It's science-based magic.
You know, I've already given
magic
my
with
lecture
rules.
on how whenever they finally get to where they can wire prosthetics directly into your brain and that's like reliable and functional and it works as well as your real arm, I'm sacrificing both my arms.
I was just
like,
say that's
first chance.
That's the other part of it. Like automail is like the coolest thing ever to have.
Yeah.
Like I don't even need the magic. I'll take
Dude.
the fascism and cool prosthetics that
I want-
are functional and help.
I've said this
people.
before, 2
I'll be an
cyborg
engineer.
arms, 12-inch blades that come out from between my fingers on each hand, a fucking Bluetooth speaker system in one, a charging port in the other, or my phone is just built in. I'm Inspector Gadgeting people. It's got a wrist. It's got a fucking watch that's like just shows up on my arm, like full QWERTY keypad that I can just like type shit. Like, oh hell yeah, dude. These things are useless compared to that. Gone first chance I get. Absolutely. 2 fucking
I would go
cybernetic arms. Absolutely.
Also, chimera potential.
Yeah.
That's not as common.
I don't want to be a chimera.
I'd be down with
No.
that. I'd be down with
I'm gonna go full battle angel.
Yeah.
I would totally do that. Oh yeah, I would. She's
a
fucking badass.
chimera
I'm-
with automail would be sick.
Dude, if I could just be a brain floating around in a jar of fluid that like will last forever, I'm in.
I'll just wait till my limbs fall off naturally. Thank you.
It's a natural process.
Yes. In,
The natural
in
process.
2035,
Let it
when
happen.
super leprosy descends upon the world.
Landon's like, it's fine. I'll just get a new arm.
This guy's got like another 10 years. This guy's got
He's
like
got mileage.
this guy's got 3 months. I'm gonna be honest.
You notice he didn't show the palm. Randy, what do we have in chat?
We have. We're on number 2, right? Yes.
Yes, we're on 2s.
Mac, aka your boy, says World of Demon Slayer fighting alongside the Hashira would be dope.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Ooh.
Teach me how to breathe.
That was one where I was like, if I weren't the most powerful, then that would be a terrible place to be. But yeah, being around the Hashira would just be sick in itself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just watch them fight.
Fucking Zenetsu's sleeping through every fight and he's doing fine.
That'd be my strat.
Oh,
They're up all night. Like,
What? Oh
he brought
yeah.
up Rengoku. I was
Rip
like, Aw.
Rengoku. F in chat for Rengoku.
tasty. We also have Nightmare and Nerdscapes. Ravenloft.
Yeah, that is a Dungeons and Dragons setting. It's Castle Ravenloft is cool as shit. I do notice that CJ is being isekai'd into places where he's gonna have to struggle. Like there's gonna be some dark times in these fantasy settings for
Mhm.
sure.
I mean, again, you're the strongest and the most likable. So you and Strahd could be like pals.
Yeah. That is true. If we're following that isekai conjecture with your list, Chris, which I'm not sure we are, for your choices. But could you imagine, making Vecna your bitch all by yourself? That's a cool thing to be able to do. All right, my number 2 is I probably have a small obsession with this universe, and that's okay. But it is the world of Transformers. Now, personally, I do want to be reincarnated as a Transformer, preferably during the Cybertronian War during Generation 1. If I'm the strongest in the entire universe, I imagine I'm something kind of crazy that's powerful enough to beat the shit out of Unicron by myself. So I'm into that. I don't know that I would necessarily be around all the time. I might just show up at the last minute when I'm needed and not be around, because otherwise would the world be fun if I'm just there to solve everybody's problems? If I'm, I'd have to be like Primus and Unicron's dad or something, like just the craziest, most powerful Transformer ever. But that is neither here nor there. I just want to hang out with Optimus Prime. Like, I just want to say, what's up, Big Bot? Like, let's
What's up, Big Bot?
transform and roll out.
What's up, Papa?
Cool matrix of leadership you got there.
Yeah, hella.
Shows yours. That's like
Kinda
matrix of
shiny.
leadership plus.
Yeah. Oh, you got one of those too? You got the touch.
You got 2 of them in your
Yeah.
chest.
I got one
Absolutely.
too.
Yes. To light the darkest hour. But anyway, fantastic. Jen, are you ready? Have you prepared yourself? Gird your loins, if you will, to give me your number 1. Jen, your number 1, please.
All right. My number 1 is actually one of my favorite books is The Crown of Thorn and Roses. I would love to be Isekai'd into the world of Prithian, especially for Randy. Thank you, Randy.
Jen, I'm gonna have to stop you there. It's a quarter of Thorn and Roses, not Crown. But carry on.
Of course, sorry. So I would want to go to this, my train's gone. Danny, you wrecked my train.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Speaking of running a train, what's going on in a Court of Thorn and Roses?
Hit you. City of Starlake. That's where I would live.
No, go ahead. Please give us your full reason. I think we deserve to hear it.
I'm very much a person that does not believe in a utopia. It's impossible. Even when I read books, I get fucking pissed off because I was like, it's fucking impossible. But the way that the author and the High Lords, if you will, run that city, I think it is as close as to a utopia that you can get, but there's still problems that they have to work through. And they say that the city is the most beautiful at night, and I'm very much a night owl, so my kind of place.
Yeah. Sounds like a
Yeah.
good time. I've not read them yet, but my wife has, and she very much liked them. So it's probably a fun environment. Probably some cool stuff going on. I know there's like fairies and werewolves or something. So yeah, hell yeah. Landon, what do you got for your number 1?
My number 1, it is the universe of No Man's Sky. You wake up on an alien world. You don't know how you got there. You don't know quite where you are. But you do know you have your multi-tool. You have all the other items you need to survive. And you know that your spaceship is nearby and you got to repair it. Once you can repair it, you can go anywhere else in the world. You can become a miner. You can get a settlement. You can build your own bases, gain resources. You can even get a fleet of frigates. I love frigates. But you can really do anything you
Doesn't
want.
love a good frigate.
Who doesn't love
Frigates
a
are
good
friggin'
frigate?
awesome.
But
I've
yeah,
not played this.
I'm a sci-fi fan, and I love space, and it'd be perfect. I can do whatever I want and just play around in the world, explore, make my home, whatever I want.
That sounds really cool. Again, I've not played the game, but I probably should. It sounds like it'd be fun. I know I talked shit on it one time, several shows ago, and you were like, "Hold on, actually, it's a lot of fun." So probably just based on that, I should probably check it out. But
it started off terribly. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, that's what I
Hello
was going to
Games.
ask. Was this the game that started out like, and it was really rough?
Yeah, Hello Games made a lot of promises they could not keep. They went dark for about a month after they released it. And then after that, they started pushing out updates, sent out an apology, fixed the game to a state to where they initially promised it, and then kept updating it, kept changing it, kept adding features players wanted. Like they took the feedback and actually made something that people liked. So I got to give them credit for that. Wish they would have done that from the beginning, but I gotta give credit for fixing your mistakes.
that's two of your favorite game franchise or favorite games that have come out in the last like 5-ish years that did that with Cyberpunk and then No Man's Sky, both not delivering what they offered off the bat, and then coming back to the table with improvements that got you to where you were wanting to be to begin with.
Yeah, like in today's modern world where no game ever seems to properly be released, at least not finished, it's nice to see games actually hit that state eventually, because even that's becoming rare sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Randy, what do you have as your number one?
My number one is The World of Fairy Tale and the Kingdom of Fiora, because magic, even if you're not the most powerful, magic is just everywhere. Sometimes it's just like, these glasses let you read book fast, or like this button changes clothes color. Like even that's just like little cool magic stuff that they can do. And then if you're good at it, so like if you're Isekai'd into it, you're just super strong. And also nobody dies. Everybody like who you fight, I think people do die eventually, but you just fight people and then they become your friends after you fight them. And
that's been my experience.
Yeah, you punch till you're friends. That's pretty much how it goes. And then every goodbye is tearful, and you'll see them again. And you got a little cat buddy named Happy that has little cat wings.
Yeah, maybe after I hand Superman his ass, he and I will get along.
I'm sure.
I'll probably apologize.
Yeah.
Sorry I ran into this so much.
He'll say, he'll be like, sorry, you're right, I had this coming.
He'll run a smear campaign in the Daily Planet.
He's like, my fans are kind of the worst. I get it. Anyway, Randy, what do we have in chat?
We have Mac, aka your boy, World of Mass Effect. I'd be trying to smash as many aliens as possible. That way that we may or may not be prepared for the Reapers.
My man.
Following Captain Kirk's logic, you gotta get down with as many aliens as you possibly can for
that's the real prime
for
directive.
the strength of the race. Yeah, it's important. That's the mission, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Engage.
I mean,
I almost put that on my list. Actually, I almost put Star Trek on my list.
that speaking of Star Trek, we've not seen Billy Rhodes in the chat in a while. I need to check in on that dude.
I've been texting with him. He's been trying, but life has just been getting in the way.
Got it. Okay. As long as he's trying, that's all I need to know. But also, he's one of my really good friends. I should probably check in on him. I'm bad at remembering to message people. It's a real problem. Anyway, what else we got in chat?
Nightmare and Nerdscape says Midworld.
Yes, the Dark Tower series, the world that takes place in. It's kind of a dark place to be. I'm seeing a theme in CJ's list, for sure. But also, again, magic is cool. You have the ability to learn it. You could become a gunslinger like Roland, and wield magic and be a kick-ass cowboy who looks like Clint Eastwood mixed with Stephen King. Hey, hard to go wrong there.
Follow around Men in Black.
Yeah. and then find a tower that allows you to jump from world to world. Cool. So that is all of chat. My number one comes from one of my favorite book series, following Jen's choice of books and novels. And if you haven't read Wind of Truth, I apologize, but I'm going to be a little spoilery here. But it's the Stormlight Archive. First off, I just want to hang out with my boy Kaladin. He's a sad boy and he needs more friends. Kaladin is one of the only fantasy protagonists whose biggest weakness is crippling depression. He struggles with it in every one of the books. One of the coolest things about what Sanderson did with Kaladin is that he doesn't magically get cured from his depression. He struggles with it all the time. You see him get in his lows and his highs, and it's really incredible. I picked up the Stormlight Archive during a period where I was struggling with crippling depression, and it was very uplifting for me to see a protagonist who was struggling with the same things I was. Sanderson's got a son who has clinical depression, and he drew from his experience with him in creating Kaladin. Now, Kaladin as well, you may have noticed the name. They call him Kal in the books. Kaladin is loosely based on Superman. I always think it's funny because Kaladin's best friend, Adolin, in the book series, has Superman's temperament and Batman's superpowers, and Kaladin has Batman's temperament and Superman's superpowers. So he just took like the world's finest and kind of swapped him around there. It's very funny. But I love the book series. Cannot say enough about it. But the one thing I want to do is if I was dropped into this world in the Cosmere with the greatest strength in the universe and being the most likable character, very first thing I do is beat the living shit out of Terra Odium.
I thought you were going to say Superman.
No, the villain of the series. I would not beat up Kaladin. I would not.
Kaladin's it's just the real Superman.
Kaladin's my boy. I don't want anything to do with him but to be friends and hang out and talk about like magic and fairies and cool stuff. But no, the evil god of that world, Terra Odium, or he was a king called Teravangian who gained the shard of the god Odium and became the worst evil in the universe. And then he sucks. And I would just be happy to show up and beat the shit out of that scrawny little old man from the book series for funsies, because I know absolutely everything he's doing. And if I show up more powerful than him and give him the ass beating he's been deserving for all 5 of the books in the series, I would be so happy. So anyway, if you've not read the Stormlight Archive, you should. It is required reading material for being alive. And that's just based on the Nerd King and his decree.
I've never heard of this Sanderson fellow.
Have you not?
I've never read his books.
Yeah, you fucking should. Anyway, check them out if you get time. That is our hit list for this week. That being said, I need to pick out what our list for next week is. And we are running a bit short on our generated lists here, but let me see. Let me look down here and see if we've got any good ones to pick from. So a few weeks ago, we did our favorite Image heroes. Let's do our 5 favorite Marvel Comics characters. Not heroes necessarily. It could be any character from the universe. That will be our hit list for next week. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. You have your assignment. But for this week, this has been the hit list. Welcome back to the show. That's going to be it for the week. I promised I would keep it tight, and somehow we still almost went 2 hours. I apologize, everyone. Thank you for hanging in there with us through our technical difficulties. That's crazy. We even cut out a whole section of our show and still almost went 2 hours. We are yappers, guys.
Say.
We're yappers.
Yippee.
Hopefully you found it as entertaining to listen to us talk as we found talking. Anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for contributing to the chat. Jen, do you have anything you'd like to say to the nice folks?
Thank you guys as always for showing up. I so enjoy seeing like everybody's top 5. It's so interesting to see what everybody picks. I love it. I did want to say for all my anime nerds out there, Eat the Cake is going to be doing a collaboration with my good buddy Amanda over at Pop Break and other people. So join Eric and Jackie and Willie. I'm not sure when they're going to be dropping it, but I do know that they're recording on Sunday. So watch out for that.
Real quick, this coming Saturday, I will be joining CJ on Nightmares and Nerdscapes. We will be talking about the horror classic Creepshow. So the 7th, I will be joining Nightmares and Nerdscapes. Landon, do you have anything you'd like to say to the nice folks?
Nothing more to say other than thank you all for coming out and seeing us again. We would just be talking to the walls without y'all, and since y'all are here, you're the ones who actually make this a show. And also, Randy, don't think I didn't notice this.
What?
Thank you.
You're pointing to the wrong side.
Oh,
Wait, it's the right-
Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's
I
the
didn't
other.
even see it.
I was like, well, I didn't send you a pop filter.
Wait, no, this is the right side for me.
It isn't on our side.
I must be flipped for y'all or something, because it's the
That's
right
funny.
side for me.
Yeah. But yes, frigate enthusiast. Randy,
Frigate.
anything you'd like to say to the nice people?
Get your tires rotated and make sure you have air in them so you don't get stranded on the side of the interstate.
Incredible.
nerd.
Well, you guys have been great, and we've been Cutting Edge Hero.
See y'all.
Bye.
Bye.